Hi there! So, today I have my very first normal video on this channel and I have got a lot of notes. I know, it's a lot, but the last page is only barely written on, but still this is going to be a bit of a longer video. So if I look down, I'm probably looking at my notes because this is a long topic. But I don't got time to do lots of crazy videos right now, so you have to bear with some of the more general videos, but I also think it's a good introduction to myself, and how I got into cosplay is a very good general video because you guys probably want to know it, probably want to know what I struggled with, how I actually got into cosplay, how I got to know the fashion, how I got to know this hobby, and yeah, so let's come with me onto a journey into the past. Wasn't that beautiful? So I have named the first phase my pre-cosplay phase. So the time where I got to know what manga was and all of that. So I personally started off with drawing manga, but at the time I actually didn't know that I was drawing manga. All started on the schoolyard when I was still in elementary school. I think I was in the 3rd grade or so, and I just saw a girl on the schoolyard drawing like really amazing, in my opinion. So she was drawing like this girl with huge eyes and very stylized hair and all of that, and I ultimately fell in love with this style of drawing and I started to imitate her. Well, I continued drawing and drawing and drawing, and then in 2008 I finally got my first how to draw manga book, and then I realized that I was drawing manga the whole time. So yeah, that's how I got to know manga. And then I also started watching anime at that time. So here in Germany we had a television program that actually showed manga right at the time after school. So I was watching Pokemon because I had fallen in love with the Pokemon series. I got my DS. Before that I was able to play Pokemon Fire Red on a Game Boy Advance. I borrowed it from a friend and it was so amazing, and then I got for Christmas my Nintendo DS Lite, and then I was like, I need Pokemon Pearl when it came out, and I got it and I was so happy. I learned that there was an anime for Pokemon and I was like, I need to watch that. And then guess what? I watched it on the afternoon TV program after school. And then there was also a series called Naruto, and I was like, that's interesting. I actually really like that. And I started watching Naruto. And that was when my anime obsession began. And my Naruto obsession, actually. And then I started watching these series, and I also had a friend who I played pretend with. We played like we were in the Naruto universe and we were ninjas, and we kind of, I don't know, we also had a team and all of that. I don't really recall it completely, but I just know it was silly, but it was funny. At the same time, a classmate of mine got also really into anime, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Was this huge thing, trading card games when I was in 5th grade were huge, especially Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But she was extremely into Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, we kind of started to talk about anime because of that, because we both watched it. And I also got my first mangas at that time. I got Naruto Volume 1 and Volume 2. Then my manga collecting obsession began. Right now it has settled. I don't buy as much anymore, just the things that I really, really, really want. But I try to not buy a lot anymore because I don't have the space for it. So in 2012, then I went to the students' exchange, like a 5-day students' exchange, and I and a friend of mine, another friend of mine, we rode on the bus and on the train drive there, and on the bus drive, I think it was both. We started writing RPG, like a literal pen and paper RPG. So we had a piece of paper and we had a pen and we had our rolls, and then we had no rules, by the way. It was just like, okay, we have this overall situation and we have divided the characters among us, and we just write everything. Person X does that, and person C does that, and the other person has person A and person B, and then they say like, then we wrote on what we reacted. Yeah, so that's kind of the style of RPG that we did do, and that's kind of what we did. And in 2012, I actually discovered that there was something like the internet, and a friend of mine said, well, there is a site where we could write RPGs together online. That means we don't have to be close to each other to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. What's that site called? And yeah, that's when I discovered Animex. And I got on the site to write RPGs, like the style of RPGs that we wrote on the bus trip. And then I also discovered that you could upload fan arts, that you could read doujinshis on there, and that you could also upload photos. And on these photos were so many people dressed up amazingly like anime characters and manga characters, and I was like,
oh, that's great! I love it!
At the time, Animex was really big. Right now I think it's kind of dying, but I still love that site because it's really nostalgic, and yeah, I love it. So I discovered that cosplay existed and I instantly wanted to do it. The planning phase of my first cosplay. Well, by the end of 2012, I had fallen in love with Vocaloid. You know what Vocaloid is? These anime characters that sing songs? Yes, I had fallen in love with it, especially with Rin Kagamine and her song Daughter of Evil. Still love that song. I want to cover it one day. Probably gonna do it. Whatever. So, my initial cast plan was, guess what? Rin Kagamine, yes! And I wanted to cosplay her so badly. But at that time, I did not have anyone to cosplay with me. So I asked a friend of mine if we could cosplay together. Well, and we actually made already plans for it and everything, but it somehow just didn't work out. We just never started on our costumes. So yeah, I haven't cosplayed her up until this point, sadly. I planned with another friend to cosplay Rin Kagamine for the LBM, which is a book fair in Leipzig in Germany, to go there as Rin Kagamine and Len Kagamine, but it did not happen. I don't know really why. We never managed to go there and never started even on our costumes, but I just know it didn't happen. The following year I wanted to go to the LBM, which was 2014, but it didn't happen as well. Well, I could go to the LBM, but I couldn't cosplay, so I planned on cosplaying Arietta the Wild for the LBM, but I actually had a wig for her at that point, but I did not have the fabrics, and I just didn't make the costume because my parents told me I did not have the time to go there. And then, well, on Saturday they said, well, we can go to the LBM on Sunday. I was like, okay, and I have no costume, thanks. If you told me that like 2 weeks before, I could have done it. Well, I went to the LBM and I saw so many amazing cosplays and I was like, I'm going to do that. I have to do cosplay. I have to, and I love it. One of the biggest conventions in Germany is the Konichi, and my classmate and I really wanted to go there. And yeah, so we decided to find tickets online from people who sold their tickets, because as usual, Konichi was sold out pretty fast. So we searched for tickets, especially for Saturday tickets, because we wanted to go there on Saturday, because we still were in school at that point. And yeah, so we got our tickets, and then there was a big question on what are you going to cosplay. So we initially thought we want to cosplay Blanche and Chocolat from the Chocolate Witch, but we decided against it when my classmate learned from Animex that there was a huge Tales of Gathering happening on Sunday. So we were like, okay, we think that's a good way to get into the cosplay community, to find new friends and all of that. So we decided on cosplaying from Tales of the Abyss. I wanted to cosplay Ariel to the Wild at first, because that was my initial cosplay. I had already bought a wig for her, but her role was already taken. And then I thought about, who do I like also? Yeah. And I decided on cosplaying Natalia Lusicum Lasker Landwildier. And my classmate cosplayed Ligretta the Wild. So we decided on the group, we bought our fabrics, and so my journey into cosplay hell started. Cosplay hell. So I went to the Konichi, of course. It was amazing. I loved it. The group was wonderful. And then, well, my 11th year of school started, and I ultimately wanted to go through the LBM. But that didn't happen for me because I had to go to a singing competition, which is actually really great. I love singing and it was really important to me, so that's why I skipped on the LBM. Nevertheless, I wanted to go to the Konichi in 2015, and I was almost not allowed to go there because my parents said I should concentrate on my A-levels and my last year of school, and they were totally right, but I still wanted to go. But before I went to the Konichi, a friend of mine who I had met the year before and I wanted to make a CMV, and the CMV still exists here on YouTube, so if you want to watch it, check the link out in the description down below, because I think it's beautiful. It's about Peter Rell and Levi, how Levi copes with her death and everything, so yeah. If you're interested, check it out. Yeah, so I cosplayed Peter Rell from Attack on Titan, as you might have noticed already. So yeah, we made a CMV, and then I wore her also for Saturday on Konichi 2015. The next cosplay was Isabel Magnolia, also from Attack on Titan, because it's pretty simple. You just get another wig and you have another cosplay. That's so wonderful with Attack on Titan. Yeah. Also, I have to mention that I did not make the Attack on Titan cosplay myself because, well, I just didn't have the time. I wasn't allowed to do it, so I bought it, and also the materials would have cost the same as the cosplay itself. So, yeah. In summer, I made my very first crossplay. At that time, I was completely in love with Akatsuki no Yona, and I wanted to be Sunhak, and my wonderful classmate decided to do Yona, and we made so many beautiful color pictures. I love them. I love them so much. I know I'm stupid, but that's just me, okay, got it? So I still love the pictures and yeah. The next cosplay was also another cosplay. I cosplayed Yuan-Ka-Fai from Tales of Symphonia. At that time I had only watched the OVA, but I already loved it, and I'm currently playing the game. Right now I'm playing so many Tales of games that I really have to catch up with all of them, and doing that at the same time is really hard for me. Yuan-Ka-Fai was also my very first full armor build. It was horrible. I hate that costume actually. It's so bad. But I also don't see myself remaking it because, I don't know, it's just so tedious, and I have so many other projects that I really want to make. So yeah, remaking old costumes right now isn't my #1 priority. 2017's craziness. So 2017 was the year of cosplay in my life. I think I made a total of 5 or 6 costumes. This is so many cosplays. I have never made so many cosplays before. So the first 2 cosplays I made for the LBM 2017. The first one being Nozomi from Love Life in the fairy tale version. I had my classmate friend and another girl who we met up with at the con itself. It was really nice, but I have little disclaimer here. I have never watched Love Live. I am very sorry for that, but I plan on watching it because the girls are just so cute, and maybe then I can justify cosplaying more from Love Live when I've watched it. So we'll see. The second cosplay for the LBM was Alicia Difta from Tales of Systeria. I love Tales of Systeria, kind of. Well, not too much. It's not my favorite Tales of game, but still a good game. And I love Alicia. And I'm so sad that she never got a huge role in the main game, but I'm really happy that there was a DLC story for her. And I cosplayed her DLC outfit. At that time I was really proud of that cosplay because it was my very first corset. Well, it was not functional, but it was a corset, kind of. And I just loved it. I made a hat completely from scratch without any tutorials, and I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, I still love the cosplay, okay? And I was pretty satisfied with the results. The next con was the Konichi 2017. And I made 2 cosplays for the con as well. The first one is Alien Brown from Witch. I don't know if you remember Witch, but I loved Witch so much when I was a child. It was my first comic and I love it. And it was just a dream cosplay of mine, and I don't think I did it justice. I actually don't like to cosplay anymore. And I actually think on remaking it with a bit of a more Victorian style, and then I can do it justice maybe, and then I can re-photograph it. I don't know. I just really want to make a better version of the dress one day, because it's just... I didn't do it justice, and I'm not satisfied with the dress at all. Because the bodice is too short, especially in the back, and it just doesn't look good, okay? A waste of fabric. The other cosplay was Eleanor from Tales of Berseria. I had played that game in the beginning of the year and I fell in love with Eleanor. She's just such a nice character, and yeah, I needed to cosplay her. And I made that costume in 6 days because I had to write a term paper, and then there was only like 6 days until the con, and I hadn't started on the costume yet, and I was con crushing. But actually, cosplay turned out pretty well. I did do pretty good at making like good seams, good hems, not seams, good hems, and I think the construction of the jacket is pretty good, but I'll probably add a lining to it one day, because I don't like it that you can see the inside of the jacket and the seam and everything. Yeah, but I didn't have the time to do that, because you see, 6 days, there's no time for lining. 2017 was also my kind of meetup year. I had so many meetups, you wouldn't believe me. I went to a meetup in spring and summer, and also at Halloween, where I wore my Arietta the Wild cosplay for the very first time. I think it was the third rendition of it, and I'm still not 100% satisfied with it. So yeah. And I also wore Arietta the Wild at another con in Berlin. Yeah. The downfall. I had lots of ambitious plans for 2018, but everything just didn't went as I planned it. So many beautiful things in my life happened, but I kind of just didn't have the time for cosplay anymore because my private life was a bit more important. And so I wanted to do so many things, like Elise from Tales of Xillia, and Anna Alexander's Merida version, and lots and lots of other things, but in the end I only managed to make my Simony cosplay from Tales of Systeria. I did not go to the LBM, I did not go to the Konichi, I only went to 2 cons that year, which was the Jenako, a very small con in Jena, which is in the middle of Germany, and to the MAG in Erfurt, which is also the capital of Thuringia, and also in the middle of Germany. So that actually concludes everything for my cosplays in 2018. So what am I going to do in 2019? Well, in 2019 I'll hopefully do more cosplays. Mainly I have planned to make all the cosplays that I promised last year, excluding Merida, because she is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I will have lots of embroidery work, so she'll be like a project that I will have like lying around and working on and off on her, so that she's going to be very beautiful. I'm going to make Elise. I'm also going to make an albedo costume, because I love that character. And then I have lots of other cosplays planned. I want to do at least 6 costumes on my own, and then I have also planned to buy some which only are like school uniforms, stuff like that, costumes that are not worth putting too much time into actually. So I have also decided to have at least 1 photo shoot every month, and all of that, so I really hope everything works out the way I want it to. And yeah, you'll see everything on this YouTube channel because I have planned to make tutorials. I hope that works out. But yeah. Okay. So I think that was it. That is my pretty short cosplay journey, and I hope you liked the video, and if you liked it, leave a thumbs up. You might also want to check out my Instagram, secrety.cosplay. You might also want to check out my Instagram, secrety.cosplay, because I upload lots of pretty photos on there. Yeah, I put lots of work into photos that I edit. It would be nice to see you. And you can also just comment down below if you have any questions. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you want to check out all the tutorials that are going to come up on this channel. Tutorials, yeah, the trial and error things, and where I explain you what you should not do, basically. I don't know. Please stay tuned to my next video in February. So, goodbye!